He said, "You miss me?" How you doing, baby boy?
Two of Floyd Mayweather's former proteges and past boxing rivals, Gervonta Davis and Rolando Rolly Romero, have reunited ahead of Davis's upcoming fight with Lamont Roach. Davis called Romero one of the hardest punchers he's ever faced, citing that as the key reason for bringing him into camp.
Was it Ryan or was it Rolly? They both.
I ain't gonna lie, Rolly had like. People be sleeping on Rolly because he been obviously, I don't know how to say it, obviously. But yeah, if he don't got no chin now, so Rolly be getting caught. But Rolly, he can hit, bro. Like he can hit. When he's the only person I felt like when he swung, it felt like bricks was in his gloves.
Is that the hardest one?
Tank Davis hasn't only focused on speed and rhythm for his fight against Lamont Roach. He's also been building his power through intense weightlifting, ensuring he's fully conditioned and ready for anything Roach brings. Rolando Rolly Romero, fresh off one of the biggest wins of his career against Ryan Garcia, reunited with Gervonta Davis in his training camp. The two heavy hitters shared intense training moments, hitting the mitts, testing their power on the punching bag, and sharpening each other's skills. Beyond their past rivalry, they now share a common achievement. Both handed Ryan Garcia a second-round knockdown in their respective bouts, solidifying their reputations as two of the most dangerous punchers in the division.
Ryan Garcia in that last fight against him.
Oh my God! A double hook, short hook, caught.
Guided by Calvin Ford and Kenny Ellis, the duo trained side by side in the gym. After the training session, reporters asked Rolando Rolly Romero for his thoughts on the upcoming rematch between Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach. Interestingly, despite being a former rival, Romero backed Davis to win again. "I take Tank," he said, explaining that he believes Davis will make the necessary adjustments to secure another victory over Roach in their highly anticipated second fight.
I definitely felt
I truly like, but that also didn't seem like just Tank in general, and
so is that Lamar
and
Tank's fault?
And I will tell you this, Tank, I know for a fact, was sparring a 122 pounder, and that was the only person he sparred all camp. Literally all camp, that he sparred a 122 pounder.
Was he taller than me?
No, he's shorter than Tank.
Bro.
Or him and Tank the same height. Like I said, Tank wasn't really training.
People want to discredit Tank as a still pound for pound fighter.
What do you think about that fight that happened? You thought it was just an off night?
Everybody has an off night.
Romero, who was knocked out by Gervonta Davis in the 6th round of their lightweight title fight in March 2022 at the Barclays Center, admitted he wasn't sure who truly won the recent 12-round bout between Davis and Lamont Roach for the WBA 135-pound title. While he respects Roach and praised his strong performance, Romero believes Davis will learn from his mistakes and return better prepared for their rematch. He spoke about the controversial draw and its aftermath during an interview with The Ring, just before a press conference promoting his upcoming May 2nd fight against Ryan Garcia in Times Square. Lamont Roach took everyone in the boxing world by surprise that day, Romero said, acknowledging Roach's unexpected showing.
Everybody has an off night. Shit, I had a fucking night and it was true. Everyone has a nice boxing.
Wanna run that back with Cruz or what?
Maybe down the line.
A tremendous fighter, bro. He's a really good fighter, man, dude. He beat Hector Garcia, and then he took the belt from him. He came up, and I know he's a lot more durable and stronger at 135.
He's also seen Tank the most in previous fights before.
Like they already had 2 fights, bro.
Yeah, so that's.
I think he even surprised himself. Well, maybe not, because he wasn't there confident and composed. Romero said of Lamont Roach, he fought like a true professional, and it was a very close fight. Despite the strong showing from Roach, Romero emphasized it doesn't take anything away from Gervonta "Tank" Davis. Tank is a 3-division world champion and one of the greatest fighters of our generation, he added. Romero acknowledged that Roach simply had a great night against a top-tier opponent. He also stated that a rematch is necessary due to the controversies surrounding their first bout. That random knee, none of the punches hit him, and it wasn't an aggressive round before that moment. It just came out of nowhere, Romero said. He pointed out that the knee wasn't ruled a knockdown, but had it been, Davis could have lost the fight. Still, Romero gave Roach credit for remaining patient and composed, calling a professional performance worthy of respect.
Figured if anybody
2 fights.
Tank and Roach, they fought twice before in the amateurs.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, they had history and they sparred a good amount of times, and all that stuff. Yeah, but
So you think a rematch? Do you think this remotivated Tank? And do you think a rematch, Tank just goes in and wins that fight?
I don't know, bro. We gotta see what like if it was a Tank that.
Gervonta Davis showed support for Rolando Romero. Romero had his bout with Ryan Garcia. But when asked if the hardest punch was between them, Davis didn't hesitate. Speaking of fight hype, he said, "I ain't gonna lie, Rolly hits hard. People have been sleeping on Rolly. He doesn't have much of a chin, so he keeps getting caught. But Rolly can hit, bro. Like, he can really hit." Davis went on to say that Romero is the only fighter whose punches felt like bricks were in his gloves when they fought.
So,
Are you talking about in sparring?
yeah,
How many years ago was that?
8.
And you think that's relevant to this fight? You think you learned something back then you can take forward to this fight?
No, I wasn't really trying to learn that day.
I don't want to say that's crazy, but yeah, hopefully, for the sake of Rolly, he pulled it off. But it's gonna be a good fight. No, you think?
Someone's gonna get knocked out.
Yeah, for sure.
Having trained with Rolando Rolly Romero, who recently turned one of the lowest points of his career into a stunning comeback, Gervonta "Tank" Davis is looking to follow a similar path in his upcoming rematch with Lamont Roach. As Davis trains alongside Romero, he's drawing inspiration from Rolly's recent triumph and hoping to deliver a similarly powerful performance. Romero, a 7-1 betting underdog, shocked the boxing world in Las Vegas by knocking down Ryan Garcia in the second round and securing the WBA secondary welterweight title by unanimous decision. The judges scored the fight 115-112, 115-112, and 118-109 in favor of Romero. With this victory, he not only took a major title, but also disrupted the planned fall rematch between Garcia and Devin Haney. A stunned Ryan Garcia, now 24-2, admitted after the fight, "I'll talk it over with the team and see what we'll do." He also gave Romero credit, saying, "Hats off to Rolly." According to an individual familiar with the situation, but not authorized to speak publicly, Romero is now expected to replace Garcia and face Haney in the early fall. That Garcia's promoter, Oscar de la Hoya, told Boxing Scene that Garcia versus Haney 2 will still happen eventually. However, that might just be promotional talk, as most contracts stipulate that a fighter coming off a loss won't be eligible for a high-profile rematch right away. Romero addressed the situation in the ring, saying, "Devin and Ryan can have their rematch," keeping a promise he made after stepping in for Isaac Pitbull Cruz, the former 140-pound belt holder. The event itself was unusual. Held in Times Square and watched by hundreds of fans who could only catch glimpses through a red-blanketed chain-link fence.
Today, and the people that came to watch me, a lot of love is out there for me, and I think people know my heart, and know that I'll be back and better than ever.
Brian?
Yeah.
Just
sort of take out the whole scene. I'm wondering if maybe, had that been a full arena, maybe fans chanting, would it have done something different? Kind of seemed a little quiet, what we were expecting.
Yeah, I didn't really, wasn't a fan of that at all.
Ryan Garcia, 26, shared the frustration of fans who couldn't see the powerful left hands from Romero that dropped him early in the second round. Garcia had been out of the ring for over a year, 1 year and 12 days, following his controversial majority decision win over Devin Haney, in which he scored 3 knockdowns. That result was later overturned and ruled a no contest by the New York State Athletic Commission after Garcia tested positive for the banned substance Ostarine.
They had a following and all that stuff. They're fresh out the amateurs. They promoted them like, oh, this is the next big thing, yada, 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 all that stuff. At the end of it, I've done this 3 times. Three different divisions. I'm a 3-time world champion. And this might actually be the biggest, I think the most attended fight card in boxing history. And I did it on this night.
Saquon Jones for boxing, please. Saquon Jones for boxing, please.
The Romero-Garcia bout was largely inactive, with Romero outlanding Garcia 65 to 54 in total punches.
Sparring match, and it felt like you could hear everybody, and it just didn't feel authentic to me. But no excuses. It is what it is.
Saquon Jones for boxing, please. You probably like less than 30 right hands the whole fight. Can you walk us through what the game plan was? Why did you not throw as many right hands the whole fight?
I mean, that's just part of just me not,
During his 26th year, Ryan Garcia used his time away from the ring to battle instability, from alcohol use to erratic social media behavior, while ultimately reuniting with trainer Derek James and aiming to capture his first world title. The WBA generously sanctioned the belt for Garcia, but it was Rolando Romero who claimed it instead, having previously held the WBA 140-pound title. Their long-anticipated clash brought Garcia face-to-face with a rival he had sparred with in their early days, often claiming he got the better of those sessions. Ahead of the fight, Romero told Boxing Scene that moving up to welterweight would offer him much-needed comfort, paired with experience and strategy gained from training under renowned Cuban cornerman Ismael Salas in Las Vegas.
Why is everybody in the crowd kept saying, hold the phone the whole night? First, did you hear him? And second, that kind of stopped you from throwing more rights the whole time, because you had that right the whole time up. So.
I'll tell you guys something. Actually, I didn't warm up properly, and in the back room, I threw like one of these weird uppercuts right from far away, and I messed up my shoulder, so I didn't want to even lift it. One time I threw it like slow.
Romero was impressed by Garcia's performance against Haney, feeling Garcia had been largely ineffective outside of the knockdowns. He wasn't overly cautious of Garcia's famous left hook either, standing toe-to-toe with him in the second round. There, Romero unleashed a devastating left that caught Garcia clean on the chin, followed by another left to the side of the head, sending him to the canvas. Garcia responded in the fourth with a pair of sharp lefts to Romero's head, and both fighters looked to trade again in the fifth. However, the fight then slowed into a style that suited Garcia. Less action, more control, allowing the A-side fighter to potentially edge close rounds. Garcia opened the sixth with a signature left hook to the head, but Romero responded by focusing his attack on Garcia's body, shifting the momentum once again.
Ryan, how you feeling, man? Good.
The scorecards remained a mystery in the seventh round, as both fighters made their case. Garcia landing a solid left hook, while Romero responded with sharp inside shots aimed at swaying the judges. In the eighth, Romero ramped up the pressure, charging at Garcia with renewed aggression, then followed up with a flurry of lefts in the ninth to highlight his work rate. Garcia, seemingly unsure of how to respond effectively, returned to his corner looking frustrated before the 10th. Romero continued his momentum, landing more clean punches in the 10th, including a powerful right hand that forced Garcia to shell up defensively. He did a great job, Garcia admitted afterward. I'm just happy I made it through, and it went 12 rounds. In the corner, trainer Derek James urged Garcia to respond with urgency, but that passionate push never came in the 11th or 12th round.
As sharp as I could be, I just didn't really throw anything, to be honest. I mean, I was just throwing jabs and moving around. I just didn't feel there, didn't feel there at all. And, it wasn't a part of our game plan at all. Derek had a great game plan. There was a lot of opportunities there, especially when Rolly was going back. I just didn't allow him to feel in any way, shape, or form. Simple as that.
Shortly after the fight, Ryan Garcia posted on social media, writing, "I couldn't do it tonight. I'm devastated and really sad that I fought the way I did. I just didn't have it, felt off." As trainer Derek James pleaded with Garcia in the corner during the later rounds, the zone cameras captured Devin Haney and his father, Bill Haney, ringside with somber expressions. The reality of potential Garcia-Haney rematch slipping away became clear, not just to them, but to everyone who had endorsed Romero versus Garcia and hoped for something bigger. The loss dulled the shine of that long-anticipated second showdown.
You and Rolly have had some history. We talk about the sparring. Do you think that any of that history played into tonight's outcome?
No, I just think that Rolly's much better than people give him credit for, and he has very strong hands, just solid in general, so you can't just, walk in there and you're just gonna get in.
Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. battled to a majority decision draw in New York, a result many felt favored Roach, who they believed had done enough to win. The fight's biggest controversy came in the 9th round, when Davis unexpectedly took a knee and ran to his corner to have his face wiped. The moment wasn't ruled a knockdown, sparking heated debate over whether it should have been.
He would never even think about to come up to 154.
What about 47 though?
Yes, if he get to pick his opponent. But Tank would never come from 35 to 54.
Y'all got into it on social media around that time. Is that just you being competitive, like when that happens? Or is it
I just really don't like that dude.
Why though?
Cause I just don't like him. Like, I really don't like him. That's
just not your cup of tea. That's just not your.
I don't like him.
Had the knee been ruled a knockdown, Lamont Roach Jr. would have won the fight outright. Terrence Crawford was among the few who believed Roach had done enough to earn the victory back in March. Now, over a month later, the two-weight undisputed champion appeared on the Asterisk Ring Champs with O and Barack podcast, where he offered a candid assessment of the bout. "I still had Roach winning, probably by like 1 or 2 rounds," Crawford said, while acknowledging the fight was close. The Nebraska native suggested Davis's overconfidence played a major role in the outcome. "I think Tank just underestimated him and was expecting to be himself and get a knockout," Crawford explained, pointing to Davis's miscalculation.
He would never even think about to come up to 154.
What about 47 though?
Yes, if he get to pick his opponent. But Tank would never come from 35 to 54.
Y'all got into it on social media around that time. Is that just you being competitive, like when that happens? Or is it
I just really don't like that dude.
Why though?
Cause I just don't like him. Like, I really don't like him. That's
just not your cup of tea. That's just not your.
I don't like
The 37-year-old Terrence Crawford pointed out that Gervonta, Tank, Davis often trails on the scorecards, but still pulls off wins thanks to his knockout power. "I always said, Tank is losing until he's not losing," Crawford remarked, referencing fights against Leo Santa Cruz, Rolando Romero, and even Ryan Garcia, who all started strong. When asked if Davis relies too heavily on his power, Crawford answered, "I do." He warned that this dependency could backfire. If Davis fails to land a knockout, he risks losing by decision, especially in tightly contested fights where his usual late fight fireworks don't materialize.
And don't retire. How realistic is this?
It's real.
Has it changed? Have you been have you had any thoughts maybe I was tripping a bit?
Yeah, I do be having those thoughts.
Yeah.
But it's also too, I want to get myself together.
Which is much more important.
Yeah, I really want to get myself together. Like, not retire, but take a break. But the only thing is, well, I ain't gonna lie. I done already made a promise.
The real question now is whether Terrence Crawford believes Lamont Roach Jr. can get the job done in the rematch. Originally scheduled for June 21st, the Davis vs. Roach Jr. rematch has been postponed to August 16th in Las Vegas, Nevada, with T-Mobile Arena and MGM Grand Garden Arena as the leading venue options. despite previously backing Roach Jr. as the rightful winner in their first encounter. Crawford shared a different outlook during his appearance on the Ring Champs with O and Barack podcast. Looking ahead to the rematch, Crawford predicted that while Roach fought well the first time, he won't be able to secure the win this time around.
It's an out, like, we out of it type of thing. But it's like, I can stick around and just, I will help people and guide people, but as far as like me competing, I don't really want to do it. It's like other stuff I need to work on. You know? Like being more there for my kids, going to school, you know, just building myself up as a person.
I think you're going to see a better Tank, Terrence Crawford said. But at the same time, I think Roach fought at his absolute peak. I don't think he can fight any better than that. While Crawford still believes Lamont Roach Jr. won the first bout, he feels the rematch might go in Gervonta Davis's favor. With the rematch drawing closer, Ryan Garcia has also weighed in, adding even more buzz to the highly anticipated showdown. Speaking with ES News, Garcia shared his take. "I got Tank. I think he'll put on a different gear. He just thought it would be easier than it was and expected Roach to fold, but he didn't. Now he should be ready for a tougher fight, and I think he wins a rematch." Garcia's insight, drawn from his own experience in the ring with Davis, adds another layer of intrigue. He suggests Davis underestimated Roach in their first meeting, but will approach the rematch with increased focus, urgency, and intensity, making a fight fans won't want to miss.
Seen in the fight, I thought Lamont won, and I think the commission does need to do something with that knee, because if they don't, then all of us are going to think we can take a knee anytime we want. You know, they got to do something about it. I mean, they did something about me, you got to do something about other people. You know, rules are rules, right? You know, I like Tank though, personally, but a rule is a rule. You can't go and take a knee and then just expect not to be knocked down. You know, you can't get away with it, stuff like that.
When you say 1 foot in boxing and 1 foot out.
Ryan Garcia's prediction for the upcoming rematch between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach has ignited passionate debate among boxing fans. With anticipation for the fight reaching new heights, Garcia's comments, grounded in his first-hand experience against Davis, add another layer of intrigue to the matchup. That's all for now. For the latest updates, breaking news, and in-depth coverage of everything happening in the world of boxing, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss our top quality content.